Taste is one of the commonly known five senses through which we perceive the world. Flavors are the sensory impressions of food or other substances. There are five types of taste perceptions. The tastes include sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. Taste buds are located on the tongue as well as the roof, sides, and back of the mouth. A few are even located in the throat. Each taste bud contains 50 to 100 taste receptor cells, which are epithelial cells. There are different taste receptor cells for each of the five types of taste perceptions. There are two types of categories of taste receptors. One type consists of G-protein coupled receptors for the sweet, umami, and bitter tastes. The other type consists of transient receptor proteins, which are responsible for the sour taste. The receptor for saltiness has not been identified yet.
As Avery is eating this chocolate eclair, particles of the eclair are dissolving into her saliva. Sugars such as sucrose in the eclair are causing the sweet sensation. Carbonyl groups, which are ketones and aldehydes on the sugars, bind to and activate G-protein coupled receptors on her taste buds. The GPCR is coupled to the G-protein gusducin, which triggers a signal transduction pathway that leads to a nerve impulse that transmits information about the flavor of the food to her brain. As you can see, sweet foods make Avery's brain happy. Here, Avery is enjoying a lemon. The perception of sour is usually caused by the detection of acidity, in this case citric acid. Acids release hydrogen ions into solution. Transient receptor proteins may detect hydrogen ions. Hydrogen ions can enter cells and depolarize the cell, causing an electrical response. Hydrogen ions can also inhibit potassium channels. These may result in taste cells firing action potentials and releasing neurotransmitters. Avery is eating salted pretzels. These salt crystals dissociate the sodium and chloride ions. The sodium ions can pass through ion channels in taste buds and generate an action potential. Other cations, such as lithium and potassium ions of alkali metals, also produce a salty flavor. Rubidium and cesium ions are less salty, while calcium ions, which are part of the alkaline earth metals, are actually bitter. This is caused by the relative size of the cations. Avery is tasting some raw vanilla, which has a very bitter flavor. There are over 30 different receptors on the tongue for the bitter taste. Bitterness is recognized by G-protein coupled receptors. Bitterness is very important in the study of evolution because plants and animals may produce bitter toxins that are harmful to other animals. Animals learn not to eat the organisms that contain these toxins because the bitter flavor is often unpleasant. Here, Avery is eating Doritos, which trigger the umami flavor. Umami is the Japanese word for delicious, and it can be described as a savory taste. Umami receptors are triggered by the presence of the amino acid glutamate. Doritos contain monosodium glutamate, which also binds to G-protein coupled receptors. However, monosodium glutamate is unhealthy because of its addictive effects.
Finally, throughout history, cooking and culinary arts have evolved as the art of taste. Cooking has evolved as an art in the sense that chefs are always striving to create better and more complex dishes that combine flavors to have new effects on the taste buds. Chefs also consider the aesthetic effects of nicely arranged foods. The cuisines of different cultures feature differing primary flavors based on the cultural dishes and the availability of ingredients. For example, plants such as chili peppers and black peppers that contain capsaicin are found in places such as Mexico, South America, and India. Capsaicin is a substance that causes foods to be perceived as spicy. As a result, many Mexican, South American, and Indian dishes are spicy. Human perceptions of taste have also shaped our literary culture by providing for vivid descriptions of sensory details. Moreover, in pop culture, for example, the movie Julie and Julia focuses on the stories of two women whose lives are centered around creating dishes with the perfect taste combinations. Today, we even have an entire TV channel, the Food Network, dedicated to preparing good-tasting food.